Hey, what's up guys? Alex here with a new video, and today we're checking out the Viltrox 40mm f2.5 lens for the Sony E Mount. If you're new to the channel, I am a portrait photographer based out of San Antonio, Texas, and I primarily shoot with Sony and Leica. Viltrox reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in checking out their 40mm f2.5, and like I always do, I jumped on the opportunity because I've loved Viltrox lenses. As a matter of fact, if you check out my channel, I've done a ton of Viltrox content, and I'm always impressed by the price to value and performance you're getting out of these lenses. And this lens, I think, pushes those limits to the extreme. And what I mean by that is, this lens retails for $168. We're talking about a full frame, 40mm f2.5 lens under $200. That is wild. But what do you get under 200 bucks? Plastic construction, of course, it's a budget lens, but you do get a metal mount with a USB-C port for firmware upgrades, which is nice. And I say that because Nikon also has a 40mm f2 lens, which is plastic build, but it has a plastic mount, which means this Viltrox lens, which is also available for Nikon, does deliver better build quality than the Nikon 40mm lens. Like I mentioned, it's made out of plastic though, but it doesn't feel cheap, and it doesn't have any buttons or switches, and of course, this lens is not weather sealed. But that is to be expected. The real question is, how does this lens perform? And I am really impressed because when we're talking about sharpness, this lens is impressive. Again, like I'm gonna keep saying this throughout the video because we're talking about a full frame lens under 200 bucks. Sharpness here is crazy. It rivals expensive glass. At the center, I have zero complaints with the sharpness, and I was really impressed by the performance. As a matter of fact, I posted some of the images I'm showing you here in this video on Instagram, and people asked me if they were shot with a Leica Q3 43. And that is the best compliment you can give this lens because you're comparing a $200 lens to a Leica. Now, it's not fair because Instagram, I think it's 1 megapixel files, and of course you're on your phone, but the fact that people were asking, that means that the quality that we're seeing was impressive. But what are the shortcomings? There's one major shortcoming with this lens, and it's not necessarily a deal breaker, and it has purple fringing. So when you're shooting this lens with high contrast situations, you're gonna see some purple fringing, but that is to be expected. What I didn't expect is the lack of distortion with this lens, because this lens pretty much has zero distortion. And I say it's surprising because right now we're seeing a growing trend with modern lenses, and I don't like this trend at all. But modern lenses, especially Canon, I'm calling you out, are essentially flawed lenses. So manufacturers are building smaller, more compact lenses that require digital corrections afterwards to fix the nasty distortion, vignetting, pin cushion, just all these flaws later. Which means that having lenses with good optical formulas is now becoming a thing of the past, and I don't like that. And it's surprising to see that Canon is taking that approach with their premium glass, and I'm talking about lenses that retail over $1,500, but you still have manufacturers like Viltrox producing small, lightweight lenses that don't require digital corrections to fix any flaws. So kudos, Viltrox, and kudos to every other manufacturer that's not relying on digital corrections because you're building high quality lenses. And at the end of the day, who is this lens for? I honestly think at 168 bucks, it should be for everyone because this 40mm focal length has quickly become one of my favorites. Last year, I haven't really said this or made a video on it, but last year my favorite camera, my camera of the year was a Leica Q3 43, and it's still one of my favorite cameras. I take it with me everywhere, and that's because of the focal length and performance. So to be able to get that focal length experience sub 200 bucks with any Sony body or Nikon, I think it's a must try because the 40mm focal length is really a sweet spot. You almost get the same compression and bokeh of a 50, but you get more context with it being a 40mm lens. So it's not quite the 35 or 50, but the look is just the sweet spot. And I really enjoyed shooting in this focal length. And again, at this price point, it's kind of hard not to try it. And it's also crazy to see that in this day and age, we're getting lenses this cheap that are performing this good. Because back in my day, aging myself here, you did not want to shoot with a $200 lens. So, what did you guys think? You saw the images. Let me know down in the comments below. As always, guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you like this content, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Peace.